Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Unexpected episode number 91. We were going to take a little break, but we could not, bearing the big blockbuster trade that occurred. Today is a snow day for us New Yorkers. I was fortunate enough to get a day off from work. Did a little shoveling, but for the most part, was able to relax an extra day. And what better way to spend that day than to chop it up with these fellas? I am Kenny C. Alongside me, per usual, is the real Lil, Zach Crow, and Coach Mello, Cam Jones. How we doing, guys?
I'm doing good, man. Like you alluded to earlier in your opening statement, my brother, we were going to take a break at this point in time, but everything dying down. But unfortunately, or should I say fortunately, things happen over the weekend. We got this mega blockbuster deal that we're going to chop it up right away about, and I can't wait to do it with y'all fellas. We also got the Super Bowl this upcoming weekend. And after that, man, life is going to be hard for a football fan. No games on Sunday, man. So we all got to find new hobbies on Sunday. So I'm not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. Let's get it.
Gentlemen, what's going on? Happy Monday to all of you guys on here. Just want to say, man, I really thought we was going to take a little break. But after what I witnessed this past weekend, I was like, hey, let's come back to the huddle real quick. Let's get it.
Yeah, boys, what's going on? One thing I will say is I'm happy to be here recording with you guys today, and I think that this trade going out totally out of the window, out of nowhere, Saturday night, I think that's a little bit of a preview for this offseason to come. There are going to be so many quarterbacks on the move, maybe some even more big-time position players. I'm really looking forward to talking about it with you guys today. Let's get to it.
And you know what, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
And Cam and Kenny C, we all have a little, well, me and Cam especially have a little saying called bring that ass here, boy. We was going to take that break, and the NFL was like, bring that ass here in the huddle, so we here.
And we back, baby. We got this blockbuster trade. Absolute craziness. The Stafford and Goff blockbuster with picks involved. Who won the trade? Now, it took me a long time to really think about the trade, read up on some things on it, and to try to pick a winner here. The answer to the question, who won, I would just say yes. I think both sides won in their own way. I'll break it down first with the Rams. Rams make a move here to get a guy who has a hell of an arm.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Hell of an
Pick
arm,
one.
brings to the table that vet talent. And this is a win-now situation for the LA Rams. Clear to see also that the Goff-McVay communication marriage, as they put it, is a divorce. They're donezo. 2019, 2020, they started declining. The Rams also get rid of that big contract and swing it over to Detroit. And you get Stafford, who gets a number one defense, or top five offensive line, weapons at his disposal, Kupp, Woods, Higbee with a young backfield, and McVay at the helm. If they win a championship with Matt Stafford, then this was 100% a win for Detroit. But if they don't and they fail short in the time that they have with Matt Stafford, then it's definitely not, because you just jeopardized your entire future for the next 3 to 4 years. Looking at the Lions get 2 first-rounders the next 2 years and a third-rounder this year. With a revamped front office at that and a coaching staff, GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell, and a 26-year-old Goff. Holmes, director of college scouting for the past 7 years with LA, he was the guy that pushed LA hard to draft Goff in 2016, so there's some camaraderie there and some companionship between those two. You throw Goff into the mix, now you have OC Anthony Lynn in there, and the Lions could potentially build around Goff and see what happens. Also, bottom line here for me with them, this is my last final take, they now have 5 first-round picks moving forward and options with them. You could trade up and get a quarterback in this year's draft with the capital you have. You could potentially get a 2020, 2022, 2023 quarterback and have this quarterback learn under Goff. Or you could build around Goff. So they have options. But the bottom line here is, if Detroit doesn't use the capital that they have to build a winning formula in the future, this was an L for them and a win for the Rams.
Well, I'm going to break it down to everybody here right now. I know our audience that's watching the show is going to want a direct answer of who won this trade. And I know Kenny C took the easier way simply because he's right. Both teams won. Both sides won. But the fans want to know who we think won. So I'm going to give the fans what they want. First of all, we all said it. Both teams got what they wanted. But in my head, the calculator of low risk, high ceiling. Which one of those teams have that? And I think the Lions have that, and I'm going to go with the Lions. They won the trade. When you think about it, the Lions get a lot of things. They get a motivated Jared Goff. They could decide whether or not they want him to be the quarterback of the future. In two years, they can get rid of that contract without any dead cap. So it's not going to affect them longer term. Now we got the assets, which is the ace card in the NFL. You could do a lot of those things, a lot of things that you want with those draft picks. You just got to draft smartly. Now that's up for debate, but I'm talking about right now, looking ahead. So the Lions, they playing the longer game. The Rams is doing what they do. No risk it, no biscuit. As far as GM moves and getting guys to come over there and moving up to draft Jared Goff and then trading him with all those picks and Brandon Cooks, that deal over there, Jalen Ramsey. They end up having to pay Jalen Ramsey. Now, Matthew Stafford wasn't able to get an extension on his deal. So that means in 2 years, if he balls out this year, then you're going to have to end up paying him anyway. So you got rid of one contract, now you got to pay him again. And it's too much risk, Matthew Stafford, I didn't even touch his injuries. I'm not going to do it because I know other fellas got to get in here. But for right now, if you're telling me who won that trade, I'm going to go with the Lions, and I ain't lying.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Lil 100% here. My answer to this would be the Lions as well. I think that when you look at the Rams, they have made so many moves when it comes to Jared Goff and everything that has went down since he's been in LA. Think about it. The Rams had to give up 2 first-round picks in order to go get him. They originally weren't supposed to get that first pick. Then they pay him that big contract, and now they have to give up another 2 first-round picks in order to ship him out of here. To be honest, I think Jared Goff could be trending down that same level as a Josh Rosen or a Brock Osweiler because I don't think any team is going to want anything to do with that contract. The only reason the Lions did was because they have 2 first-round picks. They get 2 first-round picks out of it. I think for the Lions, you're a rebuilding team, no matter who your quarterback was, Stafford, Goff, whoever. You weren't going to win this year anyway. I think they are just going to rebuild. I think they should maybe look towards drafting a quarterback towards next year if they don't believe in Jared Goff. That's fine. But you look at the Rams, Will, not to mention everything you said about Matthew Stafford and his injury history and his money, bro. How many playoff games has Matthew Stafford won?
0-3. 0-3.
Bro. So here's the thing. It's a solid trade for the Rams.
He's been in an average at best system his entire career.
Okay, but that's fine.
Jim
but
Schwartz.
Just give me one playoff win.
Come on now.
Playoff win. Just give me one.
Exactly.
12 years.
Just
Just one. That's all I'm asking for.
They only made it
Watson
3 times, though, in his
Deshaun
career.
Watson got one.
And you can also argue as well, look at Jared Goff in the sense that they choked in the Super Bowl.
They got to the Super Bowl, bro.
Choked in the Super Bowl.
He got
They
that
choked.
championship
That
experience.
offense put up 3 points.
So talking about Kenny C real quickly here before Zach's finish here. Since he's 0-3 in playoffs, now when it gets later on into the playoffs, assuming that they go deep in the playoffs, he doesn't have that championship pedigree, which is something that you want when giving up that type of assets.
But he has an above average system to work with, and the best offensive minded system he's ever had in his whole career.
Right, I get it.
You a Super
with
Bowl, though.
McVay.
Here's the thing, though. I think when you look at this, the casual fan is going to look at this trade and just say, oh, the Rams have a sick defense. They have good weapons, a good offensive line, and a good coach. The average fan is just going to be like, oh, you just didn't give them an improved quarterback. That's going to be fine. But, you guys know, football is not a game just played on paper. I'm not picking Matthew Stafford to go to a Super Bowl before I see him win a playoff game, no matter who his coach is, no matter who his defense is. I believe in quarterbacks that much. And I think when you look at the Lions, they're just doing whatever they could have to get better. You look at the Rams, Kenny C, as you said, if they win a championship, fine. I'll admit I was wrong. I just don't know if going from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford, I don't know if that risk was worth giving up 2 first-round picks because I think there's a really good shot it doesn't work out. I really do.
And Cam?
Well, I have to, man, gentlemen, simply, first and foremost, I want to say, what the you don't only give up not 1 but 2 first-round picks for a 32-year-old quarterback in Matthew Stafford to have 0 playoff wins, 0 Super Bowl experience, and to give up all those assets because just for something short-term, I believe it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. Clearly, Detroit won this trade, obviously, because, hey, they got more in return from it. I mean, I don't think that they're going to stick to Goff long-term. This is just like a short-term thing, in my opinion. But I just felt like what the Rams did, it's just stupid. And I believe that Matthew Stafford would not live up to that expectation that, that McVay is looking for. Granted, don't get me wrong, now in Matthew Stafford past 4 seasons, his touchdown interception ratio is pretty up there and his completion rate is like above 60%. But I don't think, just like Lil mentioned, you don't have that championship, that playoff pedigree to take that Rams to the next level.
Another thing that's interesting here to note, though, too, is the fact that the Rams have not had a first-round pick the past 5 or 6 years since 2016. They've shipped around all of their picks, and what has happened? McVay still took them to 3 out of 4 made them a playoff team 3 out of the past 4 years, an NFC championship win, and a Super Bowl with that draft capital that they shipped away for various players, including Ramsey, etc. So draft capital is not always something that's going to pan out.
I would tell you this. I'm in Kelly C. I'm going to tell you this. I knew you was going to bring that. I knew somebody was going to bring that up here, and I'm glad I prepared for it.
You have to bring it up. That's a valid point.
When you think about it, I know it is a valid point, but it's also when you know somebody's going to bring it up, you got to prepare for it. So that's what I did. When you think about it, the Rams was able to have that success before. But we all know the situation at hand. It goes bigger than what the eye can see. We are in a pandemic, and we know that it's going to be much harder the next couple of years on evaluating talent later on in the draft than it was earlier in these, before these times, because things are not done via Zoom. Things were done in person. You was able to have, on the field scouts being able to evaluate these guys. Who's to say what's happening right now is not going to happen later on? I hope not. But, things may change. Protocols is going to be different. It's going to be so harder to evaluate late round talent than it was in the past. So, yeah, they may have succeeded earlier and may have not had those assets in the past and was still able to put together a championship level squad. But you can't count on that forever. I seen Bill Belichick draft great talent over the years, and I seen him last year have a terrible draft, and that's why they suck right now.
Well, like I said to begin the take, this is 100% a win or bust for the Rams. I mean, clear cut, clear as day.
But think about
you win, and you win the trade.
Think about how big of a bust it could be. The Rams are out here playing Madden, and if it works, great. But at the same time, they're building their team around 5 players, and I just don't know in a league like the NFL how often that's going to work.
But let's not sit here and act like Goff was not declining in LA. 2017, 2018, they have the first and second ranked offense respectively.
He had a bad year.
2019, 2020, I think they had the 19th and the 12th ranked offense. So it was clear that relationship was severed.
Bro,
and they got all that money out of the way and shipping him off.
If you're the Rams and you want to give up 2 first-round picks for Matt Stafford, I would have just given up 4 for Deshaun Watson, because at that point, I don't know what if you're not going to value draft picks, fine. But I don't even know. But I don't know if Matt Stafford is worth 1 first-round pick, let alone 2. I just think they gave up way too much.
Yeah, and it's like,
fair.
Go ahead, Cam. Go ahead. My fault.
Hey, also too, Kennedy, did you also read an article today that the Rams was trying to pursue Aaron Rodgers before that they got to Matt Stafford? So I think that Matt Stafford was the backup plan. So that's why I believe that they gave up all those assets for him. Or I think, in my opinion, they were trying to give up all those assets for Rodgers, but since the Packers declined it, I just think they went with Stafford.
You could also look at it too, though, in the sense that they gave away a pick in order to give away $106 million with $40 million guaranteed from a quarterback that's been declining the past 2 years.
Okay, but they're gonna have to pay.
So
they're gonna have to pay Matt Stafford at some point
easily.
Yeah, think about how much money
they're gonna have to pay Matt Stafford. So either way,
but it's not as much as Goff.
Basically, the Rams are running in circles right now. That's what it is. They were literally running in circles, doing the cha-cha side in circles. They playing Madden because they traded up to get Jared Goff just to trade him away with all them assets, and now they get rid of his contract, and now you're gonna have to pay Matthew Stafford as well. So it's
I think they could potentially be a top team because you're getting a guy that has one hell of an arm, arguably top 10, top 15 in the league, and who has been plagued with terrible coaching and a horrible
Aaron Rodgers had
no system for his entire career. Now you take Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds in the league at 35 years old, and put Stafford in that system. I could see him thrive.
How confident are you in this process? Because if I'm the Rams and I'm giving up 2 first-round picks, I have to be at least 75% sure, like, all right, like we're winning a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. And as good as
With
they
the
are,
Chiefs,
I
with
can't.
the Chiefs
I mean,
and the
Stafford brings
Buccaneers,
the skill
they ain't
set.
going nowhere.
Stafford's a hell of a quarterback.
Right, I
He's
get
been
it, but
overlooked his entire career because he's been
right,
plagued
but
in
what
being
being
in
overlooked? He's won
Detroit.
0 playoff games. Like, how is that being
Exactly.
overlooked? Like,
They've
He's
only been
0-3.
to 3 playoffs since he's been with them.
And he's
that's his
0-3.
fault.
So we're gonna really value that.
If you're saying the Rams are going to win a Super Bowl, how can I confidently sit here and say they're going to do it with a quarterback that hasn't won a playoff game? Like, I can't.
But
say
they have
that.
a guy that finally has everything around him that's successful.
Can he see?
Hold on.
Can he see? You're not looking at the big picture
Stafford
here.
had Calvin Johnson, Marvin Jones, Kenny
Kenny
Galladay.
Galloway.
Yeah, Galloway.
Galladay.
Galladay. I'm trying to say, isn't that like Matthew Stafford
But,
never had?
all right, but
him?
those Detroit teams were not as complete as what the LA Rams are currently.
Right, I get it, but still, bro, like you have to just show it to me, and I'll be on board. On paper, it looks like a
We
great.
did the same thing. We had the same debate, even though I know it's two different positions. And I'm gonna end with this. I also want to touch on something else with Matthew Stafford, but moving out of the debate a little bit. Some other news with Matthew Stafford, but we had this same debate with Jamal Adams when he got traded to Seattle. And I told you the Jets won that trade. Did Seattle win a championship? No, they didn't. The Jets, everybody's all hypeness around the Jets now. They hired Robert Sala. They have all the assets, and guess who's on the market? Deshaun Watson. So who won that trade? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Even though you may get the better player out of the two, that doesn't mean there's going to be a Super Bowl waiting for you. You got to go out and get it. And with all the talent that's around in the league, Aaron Rodgers had a good team this year. He got bumped. Saints had a good team this year. They got bumped. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is still here. Tom Brady just said he want to play past 45. They ain't going nowhere. The Chiefs ain't going nowhere. So it's not guaranteed that they're going to win a championship. So that's why the Lions won this trade for me for right now.
Before we get to the next topic, what's the news you have on Stafford?
So basically it's news that circulated over the weekend. I want to know y'all fellas' thoughts about it. Matthew Stafford said yes to pretty much any other team other than the New England Patriots. And I want to know what y'all guys think about it. Why Matthew Stafford said, you know what? The Patriots is not enough. I know why, but I want to know y'all fellas' thoughts. Starting with Ken.
What has it for me? I just believe that New England don't have no weapons, don't have no valuable weapons that Matthew Stafford could use around, and I just think that it's going to be a problem. It's going to feel like Matthew Stafford is back in Detroit all over again. And also too, I think Josh McDaniels' system itself is pretty complicated as it is. There's been theories that learning that playbook is like, whew.
Learning those daggone Harry Potter book with
right.
eyes closed.
So I just felt like he just wanted to go to a system where like he's more compatible and he's able to play to his style, not to their style, in my opinion.
Well
yeah,
said.
I would say it's just Matt Patricia. I think he's. You guys heard the rumors that Patricia's going to be coming back to New England next year?
Yeah.
He is.
I think he scarred Matthew Stafford, and Staff was like, nope.
Yeah,
I think that
plays a big part.
Yeah, think about where this Lions team was before Patricia got there and after he got there. They went in the wrong
playoff
direction.
caliber.
So,
yeah.
Can he see?
I agree. And also, Stafford, like Cam said, like Stafford probably looked at the Belichick style and whatnot and said, like that's not me, and I really don't have guys to throw to. I'm out. And another thing that was interesting too, Carolina was willing to give them the number 8 pick, and they turned it down. That was another thing that interested me.
One other thing
in this year's draft
about the Patriots situation. If I'm the Patriots and Stafford's like, okay, I don't want to go, I don't want to come here. You know what I'm saying? If I'm New England, I'm like, good, because you know what? We're not going to give up 2 first-round picks for you.
Good one, Zach. Good one. I gotta give you that. Zach got the crown with that. But I don't even know if I should say anything. That was perfect. But I just want to throw in my little input here with this Patriots topic. Listen, there's a reason why everybody thought Tom Brady's career was done. And now look where he's doing over there in Tampa Bay. I felt bad for Cam Newton. Yes, you can say what you want about Cam Newton's physical abilities. He's clearly not the same quarterback. He doesn't run the same. He doesn't throw the same. But he's not in a predicament where a team could elevate him to at least make him look better. The Patriots have no weapons. They don't draft at the skills position good at all. So if I'm Matthew Stafford, why would I want to go there? Why would I leave the Lions to go there? You know, so I understand why he said, trade me anywhere but the New England Patriots. And one guy said this perfectly. I think it was Rex Ryan here. Y'all could quote me if I'm wrong. But he said players wanted to go to play for the Patriots because of Tom Brady. And I surely believe that.